Spread the word. Yeah. Sorry, Rojo's in jail. Yeah. I know he got arrested. I have to wear it the whole night. Until you get inside. Get out of my picture. Get out of my picture. I'll get out of it. No, not you. No. Oh my God, look at that. Good to see you, man. See you. So you're going to go right up there and turn in?
I can only imagine that people, I mean, I know, obviously, people wonder about Eric. I mean, how did he get like this? You know, how, just the kind of magic and wonder, and I mean, we'll hear tonight, you know, a million different things, different characteristics that we already kind of know, but, you know, we can really delve into. But the thing is that nobody here has a real idea of what he was like as a brother, as a little kid, you know, I mean, and where and how he developed, because he was always, you know, a real pretty interesting little guy, and so I just thought that I would, you know, there's people who are going to talk about a lot of different phases of his life tonight, and I just talk about my own personal experience and leave out all the major amazing feats and things. So I'm just going to talk about Eric as a brother and offer some insight, you know, and what I used to tell my kids in my humble but infallible opinion. And so anyway, when Eric came down from Alaska to try and get a transplant, he wound up in Trinidad, and he ran into a character from our past. He was a judge, and when we were kids, he was a police officer in Arcata, and when we were in high school, he was a sergeant at Arcata, and then he became a judge in Arcata when we were, you know, in our late teenage years. And our relationship with this particular cop judge is the one thing that has always lent credence to the Jimmy Cagney movies, where the cop, you know, respects criminals, and criminals respect the cops, you know. And we always figured this guy was kind of on our side, and he always figured we was kind of on his side, and it was true. So Eric, late in life, runs into this guy, and he wanted to go out to lunch, and he said, "If your brother ever comes down, let's get together." We got together for an after the game wrap-up is what it was, and it was hilarious. I won't tell the whole story, but it lasted 3.5 hours, and he paid. And but the first thing, and this is the point, is that the first thing he said when we sat down, and who was going to say something first, and he looked at us, And he said, "What made you guys think you could do anything you wanted?" And it was, it's not like, we did anything we wanted. I mean, we were, we grew up in a way, we never hurt anybody, we never wrecked anybody else's stuff, we never took anything. But so that's kind of what I want to address, is how did Eric particularly, why did he feel this? And on the spot, we both hit, well, it's my mom, and but it was my dad too, so that's what I want to get to here. And so we grew up, we were both born in the territory of Alaska, and my parents had been up there living forever, and out in the camps, mining camps. So, we grew up, and they were later in life. I mean, not for us these days, but my mom was 43 when I was born, my dad 45, which is 49 or something. My cousin Margo's here tonight, and all the women in the family would swim when tiny. My dad, who was 6'4", walked into a room. And I learned that later in life myself, from the cousins. I mean, I knew he had a presence, and that's the thing. That's one thing my brother had. He had my dad's presence. He had the grace and the accommodation, but the respect, that he would give people. And we'll hear more about my dad, but that's my dad. Okay, now I'm going to jump to the 21st century. That's wrong. Oh no, I'm in trouble. Hell, it's a computer. This is, I had to show this picture. We could just stick them on the wall. And I've got a couple of pictures he's defenseless right now. I got him. But I'm going to pay myself back in a minute. So here we are, Cheeks McGee and Big Brother Roe. And here we are, we were in Fairbanks, and my dad took a sled and made a little sleigh for us and our friends. That's Eric. And here he is at about 3 or 4. My mom made a lot of our clothes. Some of the pictures here, my mom sewed most of our clothes, and so she would do stuff like this. She was incredible. And we both learned how to sew. I could run patterns, I could pin patterns, knew all the things, and I'd help. And this one here, now this is where I am just this total geek. And look at Eric is really handsome. I mean, really. He's incredible. Anyway, so he changed a lot over years. Okay, so this is an important point in our upbringing, because my dad, having lived in Alaska all these years, wasn't all that hip to living in the Bay Area. We moved down to Mill Valley, and he worked as a civil engineer in various projects. But every year we would go off camping, and this is where we really found, that's where my dad was happiest. And we'd go visit different old friends. And at some point, I think I was older than this, but I realized that, just from listening to them, and my dad and these guys and these stories were incredible. At some point in my life, and I don't remember when, I decided that given a choice in life, and I'm sure Eric did this in the same way, we never talked about it, but that I would take the path that would lead to the best story when I was 65, And I'm sure Eric, he would do that too. But the thing is that I kind of, being the older brother, had to kind of take care of everything, And it gave Eric this freedom to he didn't have to consider consequences, and he really didn't in so many ways. In his own, whatever he wanted to do in personal life, it's so ironic that he was such an incredible safety expert in the oil field. Because he could just, it was a complete different world. There's people in this room who know what I'm talking about, It's just amazing to me. And this is where it all started. This is stuff like this. Eric, you know, I'm off playing baseball and stuff. Eric decided to be an ichthyologist. He just took this on. He decided he would start keying fish inserts. And to this day, like Lonnie talks, I mean, he'll see a frog and he'll give you the Latin name, or he'll see a salamander or whatever. And here he is conducting a week-long study in an irrigation ditch in southern Washington, right, Trout Lake, where our family, White Salmon Trout Lake, where our family's from. But he would just take on this thing, just like my dad, just take on whatever knowledge he was interested in. You know, no problem, he would just go for it. And I love this. So here we are, hitting the 60s, and that's Eric. I think he's about 15, no, he's about 15 here, yeah. And then here's another thing, I'm going to try and be a little faster. This is an incredible influence on both Eric and I. And any of his friends have probably heard the name Uncle Lukey, or Mike Ferber, or the Ferber brothers. And this is Mike Ferber, and at the helm of the Lanola, a crab boat I worked on. And Eric worked for Mike and he worked for his brother, but those two guys, in the absence of a father that was there all the time, for Eric and I to go to sea, get on the fishing boats and just go, was a really big thing for us in those days. In the 60s, it's hard for everybody to imagine just how different and how small and how big everything else was. And so for us to just jump on boats and go was really a cool thing. And this is one of the guys that got us there. He's wearing a jacket I gave him. I told him if I ever made $100 in one day, I'd buy him a jacket. So this is what brothers meant to us. Here's my dad in the middle, or you can see my dad, his dad, and Margot's father. On the right, Uncle John, Uncle Harold. And there we are, just before my dad left us. We're both, Eric was just in the academy there, I think. He was about 21. And this is the place where Eric and I enabled each other. Was like, I always had a garage. I always called this Portrait of Eric. And speaking of cars, this is the car to end all cars. This is after at least a season on the track at Redwood Acres. And this project brought Eric and I together like nothing else. Because I built the car and he paid for it. But we had a really good friend, Eric's best friend of all time, a guy named Bob, worked on this car with Eric and I. And his brother just rode 600 miles to be here in the rain, to be here at Eric's Chuck and Gary. And I got to say, you know, we got my brother's Fat Boy running the other day, and you know, I had it for one summer, but we went up and got it for this because these guys are riding out. There's people from Seattle and different places, but this is Eric and me putting an engine in the Skylab. This is the thing. I called it Skylab because it was descending to Earth, certain destruction, but we didn't know when or where. You know, and you resurrect this thing on a weekly basis, and we're putting an engine in here. Eric got a donor car about 3 blocks away from where we were going to take this engine out, and seeing as he didn't need the rest of the car, he thought, well, why save it? So, you know, he got between a couple of telephone poles after a couple of other maneuvers and just started trying to kill the car. And so, of course, various branches of constabulary forces descended on him just immediately. He had like 4 or 5 different cars, and he only had a valid Mexican driver's license. So here he is surrounded by all the cops, and he explains to them that he just bought this car, he just needs the engine, he was coming home, and the throttle stuck. You know? And the first responders had been at the V&N Burger Bar around the corner, and they were hip to it, and the one cop says, Yeah, I heard that throttle stick about 6 or 8 times. But with his usual aplomb, he went humble on him and told him that sort of racing was only for the track, and yes, he certainly wouldn't mean to, get a driver's license when he moved back to the States and all the rest of it. And they just kind of like, the little golden thing happened, and they left, And here we are, Skylab, right here. And you can't imagine the thrill of all that. And this ramp, this is part of a ramp. Eric in one day raced Skylab, did a Hollywood slow roll. He performed, he got jump cars, and his father-in-law, grandfather, built ramps for him. And he did that thing where a car hits another car and kind of rolls over its top and does a barrel roll. It was one of his things he really wanted to do. So he figured this all out. So one day he did that race, did the slow roll and a destruction derby all at the same time. It was his finest day. And we're almost at the end of my thing here. This is a funny symbol. Eric and I have so many similarities. That's not one of them. But so one thing about Eric in Valdez that was really incredible is that I got to bring both my daughters up and visit and experience the Cadillac. You're going to see other pictures, other people tell you about the Cadillac. But there's certain things Eric and I did so similar, and just looking through pictures, he took a picture of me, so then I took a picture of him and Willa. It's like, uh-oh, I was going to go back. Uh-oh, I'm afraid. I'll just leave it. That's okay. That was 2 similar pictures. And nothing like this. I don't want to buy any ink. Anyway, it's been really, really easy for me to look at pictures and tell great stories of Eric and all. But it's really going to be something not having him around. He's been living down Maxwell Road, and I can always expect from a Harley just boom, boom. So, everybody knows how I felt about my brother, and I said the other day it's like the world without a continent missing, And we spent so many years apart. I spent my first Christmas with him since 1967, after he moved to the island. And that was really a gift for him and I to be able to talk about the past, because it wasn't all fun, and to see what we felt about things, and the fight we put up for his life. So I really miss him, as we all will. So I'm going to turn this over to Logan, and we have various people. Logan might want to do a couple of laps. Anyway, this has been really, really something to know the depth of the caring for Eric that everybody has, and I'm so happy that he has touched so many people. We all tell stories of Eric, and they'll go on and on and on. I told Renee that the only thing that could be bigger than Eric in life is Eric in death. And that's it. Everybody is going to remember, and they're going to think more about the examples. And I think they'll apply them more when he's gone than when he was here. Because he was pretty complex. But if people think about those things, there was a lot of lessons in there. So, thank you, everybody.
These are some of my dad's life lessons to us. Pajama bottoms are for any occasion. You're never lonely with good music. Write letters, but a postcard will do. Remember everyone's name, it'll get you far. Dress up when you go to the doctor's office. It works, it's true. Always catch the circus when it's in town. If your heart is hurt, you'll always feel a little better the next day. Always be honest, even if it gets you in trouble. Never ride on the back of a stranger's bike. Garlic bread and Caesar salad is a meal fit for a king. Pardon me on this one. Read a fucking book. Be confident but humble. You can never have too many socks. Tip creatively. Always, right? After going through stuff, this one's really true. Don't go into a store without buying something. Always be kind to others. Even the mean ones, they'll come around. Everyone has a story. Listen to it. The easiest way to turn a car around is in reverse. Stop and appreciate the little things. Do your duty, but always have fun. Stand up for the little guy. You always did. There's a story for every occasion, and you can tell it over and over. If it has stripes, buy it. If you have no money, open a paper. There's always something for free. When swimming, make the backstroke graceful. Reverse shoplift. You'd always leave something on. Learn your local history and go to museums. Prank to show that you care. Find humor in every situation. Never steal someone's wave. Make every gift personal. Watching NASCAR on Sunday is doing something. Leave something behind so they'll remember you. Keep a journal. Even if you have nothing to say, you will eventually. Don't judge someone by their looks. Everyone deserves a second chance. Hats are coming back. Find the rhythm in life. And persevere. So we have all these journals. There's tons, 30, 40 years worth of journals. And just some of the most incredible, it's an incredible legacy for us to have. And we're going through them and trying to find something that would be, good in this situation, but out of context, it's kind of hard. So I found some poems, and we've been passing them around, and they're pretty incredible. So here's a couple. I hit the town on my bike about 60. The sheriff got up and he frisked me. He made off with my stash and about half my cash and told me to hold it at 50. Well, alone with my bike it will start, with first kick after advancing spark. But in front of this lounge, with my friends all around, I'll be lucky if I get it to fart. He really left a lot behind for us, in memory and legacy. And he lives on in all of us, everybody here, and the stories he told and the way he interacted with everybody. And we can pass that on, all these lessons he gave us. So I really appreciate everybody being here tonight and helping support us in this amazing community and a lot of great friends here. So we love you all, and thanks for coming.
So when I told Neil the news, it was brand new, and he just, in a couple of hours, he told me he had a song. So he worked on it for a while, and I've heard it, and it's really great. So I want Neil to play this song now.
I'd like it if you guys could help me out on the key points here. There's a chorus that goes, unforgotten brother, you will not be forgotten by me. Unforgotten brother, you will not be forgotten by me. 'Cause I can see, and this is where I need you. Hold on, no, roll on. Let's see, how's it going? Well, anyway, you sing along. I'll remember it eventually. Black crow, everybody knows. You are the messenger with wings. And the black crow came that day. We were sad to say you were gone. Black hat, black shoes, black feathers, appropriately dressed for that day. And the silence of his moment lingered there, broken by the sound of wings and air. Unforgotten brother, you will not be forgotten by me. Unforgotten brother, you will not be forgotten by me. 'Cause I can see you keep rolling on, keep on rolling on, rolling on, keep on rolling on. The sounds of the lumber trains rolling through Arcata set the romance of the road into your heart. The sawdust in the wood smoke in the air, raised by the librarian with care. Two brothers in a promise of adventure, the redwoods and the California sun. Weep not for me, though I'm gone. You know me, I'm still rolling on. Unforgotten brother, you will not be forgotten by me. Unforgotten brother, you will not be forgotten by me. 'Cause I can see you keep rolling on, keep on rolling on, rolling on. You keep on rolling on. Captain of the big ships on the tumbling sea, rode the tumbling tide all the way up to Valdez. Rolling, tumbling tide, boys, rolling, tumbling tide. Captain's greatest joy was his children by his side. Captain on the seas, boys, but captain of the heart. Remained the captain of his crew long after they did part. They loved the able sailor, they loved the noble charm. The The face of his departed son was tattooed on his arm. So roll you salty sailors on the tumbling sea. Though the captain finished well, true love and victory. Unforgotten brother, you will not be forgotten by me. Unforgotten father, you will not be forgotten by me. 'Cause I can see you keep rolling on, keep on rolling on, you keep rolling on, keep on rolling on, you keep rolling on, you keep on rolling on, you keep rolling on, keep on rolling on, rolling on. Unforgotten brother, you will not be forgotten by me.
Neil Brown. We were hoping to get different people to say a few things from different eras and different periods of Eric's life, but since I was all tied up, I didn't really get it all together. But there's one person I do want to get up, really dear friend of Eric's and now mine, fortunately, Doug Johnson from Valdez.
I'm a little bit of a loss at what to say, and I gotta say I'm still choked up after your song, Neil. I've been blessed to know Eric for almost 25 years. I met him up in Alaska. We had a lot in common. We were a couple of kids from Northern California that rode motorcycles and headed out to sea. He fished and went to the Maritime Academy, and I went to the Coast Guard and fished and then went to the Maritime Academy. And we met up in Valdez, working together in oil spill. And when I first knew him, he was, Eric always had a lot of irons in the fire. He was doing lots of different things. And so he was apprenticing to Larry Allen up in Anchorage at the time to be a tattoo artist. That was a lifetime dream of his. And as Rojo said, I was lucky enough, I have a second and third tattoos. I told him, when you get ready, I'll give you a little hide to start out on. And now I've got quite a bit. As everyone knows, Eric wasn't real mechanical. So for 25 years now, I've been taking care of his motorcycle mechanical needs, and Eric took care of my tattoo needs. I could just stand and tell stories about Eric all night. I feel real blessed to have shared in both of his lifetimes. As many of us knew that he almost passed about 9 years ago, and we thought that was it. And Eric was blessed to come back and have a second chance at life. And in all the years I know him, I can really say that I think Eric appreciated having that second life. And these last 9 years, I think he knew how lucky he was, and he savored all the moments and the experiences that much more, knowing that. And I know with Sandra, remarkable lady, this time with you, I've seen him more contented than I've seen him in all the time I've known him. So, I've got all kinds of memories of Eric, from riding, and I was telling people earlier, I remember running up here at the fast lane, axle to axle at 90 miles an hour, 2 feet apart, and just rolling, because, we like to ride fast, Don't ride with too many people, but Eric and I rode over the years and quite a bit, and I don't want to talk story, I just want to say is, right on, Brother Eric. I know in my heart I'm going to reach it a little further on down the road. Thank you.
Huge, the fact that he's not here anymore. And your being here from so many different places is a great testimony to that. So, this song's for Eric.
thanks everybody. We're gonna let everybody talk for a while, move some chairs back, we can get some music going here in the electrical variety. Thanks everybody.
Peace.